boys and girls. Welcome to the No Friends channel. My name is Mrs. Hamm. I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been a music teacher for a very long time. And now they're cutting music from the schools, the elementary schools, junior high, hardly any, and high school, there's just a little bit. So I want to do music lessons here on the No Friends channel. So today I've got a very special lesson for you. And I'm going to introduce to you my husband, Mr. Hamm. His name's Warren Hamm. He's been a musician a very long time. He's played on the road with a lot of different people. He's played on records and CDs and DVDs and been on commercials, all kinds of things. So I'm really excited to have him. He's going to be playing for you the saxophone, the flute, the harmonica. Saxophone and flute are woodwind instruments, and then the harmonica. Maybe he'll play some blues for you. And he's going to play a little recorder for you. And the recorder is a pre-band instrument. It's an instrument that you're going to learn to play before you decide which instrument you want to play in a band or orchestra. Now there are some bands in orchestra and elementary, some in junior high, and then there is the marching band and such, and orchestras at a lot of the high schools. So this is something you could really get into and learn from. And I hope you enjoy this next lesson of Mr. Warren Hamm playing for you the instruments. Thank you.
Hi boys and girls, I'm Mr. Hamm. My first name is Warren, and today we're going to talk about the woodwind instruments, which are the main instruments that I play. I also play harmonica, and I'm going to show you how those work. I'm a professional musician, and I've toured and recorded with many famous artists. I'm not going to list them all now, but I'm going to start with the recorder, because that's a pre-band instrument, and I want to show you how you can morph into the more complicated instruments if you know how to play the recorder. So we're going to start with the recorder. Now the recorder is a little wind instrument that's basically, it's a tube with holes drilled in it on either side. There's only one hole on the back, and that's for your thumb. And I'll show you, as you've already probably learned from Mrs. Hamm in earlier lessons, how this works. And we'll see that the flute and the saxophone that I also play work in the same manner. Okay? So I'm just going to illustrate how this tube, which is a plastic tube, and you blow in the end of it. That's one finger down, which is a B. Two fingers down is an A. A G. And then you add the right hand. 4 fingers down. F. Then E. Then finally D. Okay, and here's God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. A lot of fun. Okay, now we're going to go to the flute. Now it works basically the same way. The flute is actually keyed a whole step lower. It works in the same way. It's a silver tube that has holes in it, and as you put your fingers down, the tone goes lower, from high to low. Then the next octave down is. Okay, the only difference is instead of covering the holes directly with your fingers, there are pads on top of the holes and you press down these little buttons, and they in turn close the pad over the hole, and that's what makes the sound on the flute. Okay, it's a very beautiful instrument. You may decide that you want to play it in the school band or the orchestra, and we're trying to reinvigorate the band program and the orchestra programs in the public schools, and we want to see more kids learning to play musical instruments, and this is one of the prominent instruments in the orchestra. Here's a little tag. It's you can also play jazz on the flute. This time we're talking about the saxophone, and the saxophone is a woodwind instrument that's more used in jazz type bands. It's also used in the orchestra, but it's not one of the prominent instruments of the orchestra. It's more for marching band, jazz band, rock and roll, things of that nature. I use it in all of those contexts. And it's very much like the flute. It's a tube with the bell on the end of it, and it's made of metal, and it has holes drilled in it, and there are pads and buttons over the holes that as you put your fingers down, they determine whether the sound is high or low, and going from left, adding more holes down makes the instrument go lower. Okay? The only difference is there's a reed attached, and the playing the reed causes a vibration, and it makes the sound go through the instrument. So. And that is the saxophone. All right, next we're going to talk about one of my favorite instruments. It is not a woodwind instrument. It is a wind instrument, though. Different. It's called the harmonica, all right? And it doesn't work like the wind instruments, but it does require wind to play it. And this is a good instrument to start out on because it's easy to carry around with you. That's a little blues and jazz on the harmonica for you. I also threw a little bit of the train in there. I'll give you a little bit more of it to just show you what that sounds like. That's that sort of chugging along sound that resembles a train, and sounds like this.
Thanks, Warren, so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Sayonara. Sayonara. Bye.